Welcome everyone. Today I'm here to talk about a simulator that I bought a while ago and I decided to revisit it. This is in no way, shape or form is gonna be a review, but rather just me telling my feelings about this game, how I feel about it, telling my thoughts about it and stuff like that. So this is far from a review of the game. This is just how I feel about it currently. And it's I don't know how to word it because I don't want it to sound rude or like offend the creators of this simulator or anything like that. But I don't feel by playing this game that much changed since the last time I tried out this simulator. And I've read all of the different posts that they made, all of the different hype that's built up on Race Department about the simulator, all of them, like, I'm reading the patch notes about this game. I see the AI getting tweaked all the time, like a thing that's mentioned all the time in the patch notes and stuff like that. And I just simply, yeah, you can see my realization that the wheel was a bit loose at the start of the recording session. So yeah, I bought this game when it was still early access. So when I'm saying that I don't feel like that much has changed since that, I feel like I'm somewhat foreshadowing my thoughts. I don't think that this simulator currently is any better than the one that people are like comparing it to. You know what I'm referring to. I don't have to go around it. I'm talking about Project Cars 2 and AMS2 and how people make it out to be like, oh, this is so much better. This is a true, like, this simulator truly lives up to its name. It's a true continuation of, or like a worthy continuation of Automobilista 1, and this is exactly what we expected. This is exactly the DLC that we are waiting for, the update that we are waiting for. And I'm just sitting here and be like, okay, I played it in the beta, I played it now. Frankly, I don't have many hours in it, but as far as I remember, and as far as I can prove it, because I'm still playing Project Cars 2 in this year. For those who watched this video late, it's still 2020 unfortunately, but I still play Project Cars 2 here and there, and I can get used to the driving of it. However, finding fun in Project Cars 2 seems to be more easy for me than finding fun in AMS2. Like, just the sheer difference between the two games, not just content wise, but like just the little things here and there. The fact that I can set up, for example, crew chief in Project Cars 2, it makes sense that I have to have specific settings in Project Cars 2. I can get behind that. But to see the same settings in Automobilista 2, like how the MFD or whatever it is has to treat this game as Project Cars 1 or Project Cars 2, and even though this game is now been out for like what, a few months now, it's been out for a while now, why certain things still the same as it was back in the beta, I still don't get it. The AI is still weird for me. Like, I've heard that they're tweaking it almost every update, but for me it's still inconsistent. I can have a stressful race at Imola and then hop into a different car from a different class, lower the AI a bit and absolutely dominate the entire race and get bored of the entire race in like 4 laps, and then don't change anything about the AI's performance. No skill change, no aggression change. And then I go to race at Monte Carlo with some karts and I have to corner cut 3 of the complex sections of the track just to be able to catch up to those who just straight out pull away from me in the straights, which I still don't get, because all of the cars should have the same acceleration, the same top speed. Why is it that the other cars just, or like in this case, cars pulling out from me? I don't get it. Now the visuals are one thing that I give to this game. It looks beautiful, but so does Project Cars 2, and this engine proves it. The hint simulators can look amazing, but so does Unreal Engine 4. And so does the original Assetto Corsa, which came out in 2014. Even Automobilista 1 looks great with some reshade put on it. So what I'm trying to say here is, people who say that this game might not be the best feel-wise, but it makes up for it in visuals. I mean, you can get almost the same visuals from a game that came out years ago. You can get basically the same feel, and in some cases more refinement from a game that came out like 3 years ago, and people were, well, they were so 50-50 about it. I don't really see myself play this game more, but I'm still giving this game a benefit of a doubt and hope that this will be better as time goes on. Just from what I've seen, like how much they implemented in 1 year, content-wise and update-wise and feature-wise, I'm more than hopeful for Wizard to put together something great with this title, but this doesn't feel like a product that you would like say that it's complete. Certain things that were buggy back then still are buggy. I still have to rebind my controls from time to time. I still have to restart the simulator to even get my wheel detected. And it's not like that my wheel is super niche. It's a bare-bone basic wheel that everyone gets as a first wheel in their lifetime if they want to play simulators. Only trouble, some part about that is that I live in Hungary, so any chance for upgrading this wheel, even if I would want it, to a different model would cost my soul, I think, because that's how expensive everything is. But that said, I mentioned this a couple of times on the channel, I don't want to upgrade this wheel. I'm more than happy with my G920. Sometimes I mess up the two names. It's basically the same thing, and Logitech doesn't have it with the new wheel being the G923. Where was the 29? 921, 922? I don't know, but whatever. I'm derailing here a bit, so I'm hopeful for this title, but honestly, I don't recommend getting this title. Give this game about 1 or 2 more years. Let it become its own identity, because now I see people referring to this as, oh, this is the simulator that Project Cars 2 should have been. And I launch it and my wheel is not detected, I need to reassign everything. I can't even set up a proper field of view for my game either, because the game only goes as down as 35 FOV. And you know how people are out there, you have to run the correct FOVs for everything. So following that idea, this game only supports the lowest FOV of 34. Why do I keep saying 34? I don't really get it. Lowest FOV of 35. Well, if you follow the basic message, I would have to run FOV of 30. Why is it not a thing in this simulator? I don't really get it, but I can set up my FOV perfectly in Project Cars 2. You know what else I can also perfectly set up? My HUD. Yeah, Project Cars 2's HUD is not the best. Basically, I cannot see my inputs from time to time. If I run the... Actually, I don't even know when was the last time I even checked if that thing... But here's the thing, at least in Project Cars 2, setting up the HUD actually works. Setting up the HUD in AMS2 for me doesn't want to work whatsoever. What do I mean by that? You see my speedometer and that it's in the middle, right? So why do I run the minimal version of it? Well, basically because the full version doesn't appear on my screen. It's either minimal or off completely. And many of the other features as well seems to be that as well. We also don't have custom skin options in this game, which sounds a bit weird. Project Cars 2 had it at launch, and even though you can only set up one custom skin, that's still more than none. And many of the cars in Automobilista 2 are suffering from having very few skins. And the other thing I don't really get is they could have implemented more features into setting up races. Give us the option to set up individual race drivers or like individual names or anything like that. I don't really see why it's not a possibility, because you already do randomized names. At least Project Cars 2 did. No matter what the skin name, like no matter what the name was on the actual skin, because the names were randomly, but not generated, but randomly assigned to each car during the race. Here it's kind of a mixture of, well, we don't do random names, but we also do. Some of the cars have, from the newer like GT3 and GT4 classes, some of the cars there only have like 4 or 5 skins. So you're telling me that there are names that are randomly assigned, there are only 4 skins for a single car, and there's no way to put in a custom skin for that car yet. Okay, let's jump back into Project Cars 2. Oh, look at that. There's almost 20 skins for almost every car in the class. The physics might, or like the force feedback or the physics might not be the best for each car, but it's still more option. I don't know, at this point I think I am nitpicking or might be ranting, but I just don't see this game or like this simulator actually earning that big of a praise that people are like mentioning about it. Free content is nice, but at the same time there was also the €100 season pass for 2 years of content. And when you start out with that and you combine everything that I just mentioned about this game in its current state, again, I'm repeating myself here, but I cannot really recommend this simulator. But hopefully things might change as time goes on. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to let me know. I might do more of this in the future. Have a good day or night. I'll be seeing you around.